Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is the second video related to execution context, which is how JavaScript actually executes our code. And this is the second video, and I will cover scope chain. And when we talk about scope chain, it will also related to lexical scoping, which is which variables we will see example in the future. Okay, lexical scoping means based on the source code, not based on where your function is being called, and compared with the dynamic scoping. The language I know, like Java, like JavaScript, they are all lexical scoping. Before that, in previous video, I already covered var let constant function declaration with the function expression. If you haven't learned, I suggest to watch my previous video first and then come to this one. Okay. Before heading on, we I want to cover one term which is called the lexical scoping. Wait a minute for a second. I have to turn on the nested function. What is a nested function? A nested function is a function which created inside another function. Now let me show you an example. So here I have function A. This function A is created inside the function B. So we call function A a nested function. Okay. Now let me show you how when JavaScript executes this piece of code, what's the value of x? Probably say because here I only have one x is 20, we should say 20. So y is 20, why not none, right? Why not none, or why not undefined, or why not throw error? It's a 20, why, right? So now let's take a look at the reason. Okay, I will draw how it's gonna happen in our lexical environment from in our IDE. Okay, so this is my IDE. Now let me draw. I have to move my chair a little bit because it's not directly facing me. Okay. Anyway, I'll just do this one, and then after that's how I do. Actually, this is my first time record this video. The first time after I was finished recording, I was trying to editing, right? There's no sound because my mic is not, the audio input, the mic is not connected properly. Oh my, you know what, 35 minutes I have to record again. Okay, if you like my video, give me a like or comment or subscribe. Okay, anyway, let's continue. Here we have a global execution context. We start from the creation phase. Okay, if you are not familiar what I'm doing now, go to my previous video. I will add the link at the end of the video. Lexical environment. Ask the questions. The first one is, do we have any variable defined as a var, and skip all the function body? Okay, this function A has a function, skip them. Just take a look at the global environment. Okay, do I have any variable declared with var? No. And do we have any variable declared with let const? Yes. If it's have let or const, we put it in TDZ and put x here. And for any variable declared, if you access any variable which is inside the TDZ, you're gonna have a reference error. And some articles, when you see online, it will do something like this way. It will put x called uninitialized, and when you access this x with the value is uninitialized, you will have the errors. Okay, I just want to put it in a separate location called a temporal data zone, so I don't want to find it by the values. Anyway, it's a different ways to do the same thing, so it's your own choice. Okay. Here, let me remove from here. I just go with the way I like. Okay. And now we have to populate. We already done for the let or const. And do we have any function declaration? Yes, we do have. We have function B. So we reserve all the space for the function declarations. And then we don't have anything else. We do have one more. It's called outer. Outer will use in a moment, okay, in a minute. It's gonna be now, right? So now we go to execution phase. Execution phase in the global environment still start from the first line in your source code in the environment in the global scope. In the first one in the global is a function declaration skip. So we are going to const x equals 20. So what's going to happen? It will remove x from the TTC, then add x equal 20 inside the global environment. Now we will execute the second one is a b call function b. So in my global lexical environment, do I have b? Yes, I have b. Is it a function? Yes, it's a function. Because if it's not a function like x, you cannot call it, right? It must be a function here. And so we find it. Then for every function call, you're gonna have a lexical execution context. B function execution context. We steal from the creation phase. In the creation phase, you still do the lexical environment. And now, take a look at all the things happen in function B, which means inside the function B, function body. Okay, function B's body. Ask those questions I just asked. Do we have any variable declared with var? In our case, we don't have. Do we have any variable declared with let or constant? We don't have. Do we have any function declaration? Yes, we have. What it is? It's a and added here. Okay, and since it's a function execution context, we do need to add the parameters. Here for the b we don't have, and here we didn't pass anything to the b. So we're gonna only have arguments, and the arguments are gonna become what's the length is 0 because we don't pass any. Take a look at it here. When we call b, we didn't pass anything here. That's gonna become, if you pass, it's gonna become value of arguments. I will give you example in next one. Okay. And now we do have outer. So outer, this outer we decided is a lexical scoping. Okay, what it means lexical scoping is what's the outer point to? The outer point to is based on your source code. So function B is defined inside the global environment. So the outer here is global. Okay, and this one is called the lexical because based on your source code, we will see another scenario later, which is gonna be make you confused. Okay, because it's lexical. And now we will go to execution phase. Execution phase, we are in B function execution context. So when we execute, we start from the first line in function B's body. The first line is the function declaration of A. We skip. Now we make a function call to the A. So we'll check in my lexical environment, do I have function A? Yes, I have function A. Then we will create another A function execution context, and we steal from creation phase. And in the creation phase, we populate the lexical environment. In the lexical environment, ask all the questions. Do we have any variable declared with var? No. Do we have any variable declared with let constant inside the function A's body? No. Which means this part, okay, inside between these two braces, do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared let or constant? No. Do I have any function declaration? No. And then we need to only handle for the arguments, parameters. For function A, don't have any parameters, and when we call, we didn't pass anything, so the arguments is the same as in B, which is the length 0. And we do have outer. Outer is a lexical scope. What it means lexical scope? Take a look at your source code. Where is the function A declared? The function A is declared inside the function B. So here the outer is a function B. Okay. Now we'll go to the execution phase. In the execution phase, start from the first line of function A's body because it's a function execution context. So the first line is console log x. So now the question is, okay, in my lexical environment, do I have X? Oh, I don't have, right? If I don't have, I'll follow my scope chain. Scope chain, the link is defined by all the outers. The outer will say, okay, your parent is B. Okay, your parent. Then I'll go to B. In B's lexical environment, do I have X? So I don't have. So I will follow my outer to go to global. In global lexical environment, do I have X? Yes, I have X. So here, what's the value? 20. And in this case, we have a scope chain here. What is scope chain? From the A function lexical environment, which is execution context, the outer will link to the B. Okay, the outer will link to the B, and the B's will link to the global. See here, now we have a scope chain. So for what the things for inside the A, for anything I cannot find, so I will go to B to see if it has. If B doesn't have, it will go to global, and eventually it will reach to the global's outer, which is none. And when it reach here, and it still cannot find in the global, and it will reach out to none, then you're gonna have the errors, okay, being printed through. So that is this one, why it's 20, okay. So after we are done 20, we still have the things to be going. After we are doing 20, we are reach the end of the function body A, right? Because in function body A, we only have the console log x 20 and printed, and we are end of A. When we end, we have to pop out. Let me make a copy here, okay. Suppose in case I want to use in the future, okay, in the later explanation, okay, I put it here. So now when we reach the end of the A function body, then we pop out from our core stack. This one is popped out, okay. And when we pop it out, we have to go continue on the B function execution context, and then we go back to the B function body. After B in the B function body, when it reaches the function A call, we don't have anything else, so our B function is popped out from the stack, okay. Okay, now then we go back to our global. After B function being called, there's nothing after that, so our global is being popped out from the calling stack or execution stack. Then our application is done. Okay, so that is how the lexical scoping and the scope chain happened here. Okay, now let's take a look at another example. The second example, I was using the one I modified, which is in my ID, which is this one. Here, this one I don't want to modify, okay, because in my previous video I made something which I not want here. This one will be okay. I and J. Let me make this one to be 21, 22, 23. Okay. Let me make another one. Okay. 7, 8, 9. So I want to differentiate with the index. Okay. So this is second one. Let me put it in the OneNote. Okay, text, and I'll make the font larger so you guys can see clear. Okay, so now this is our second demo. We can briefly go through the code and guess what's the value of x. So here I have x, I call b. In the b, here I have a console log x, and here also have x, and the function a make a call, it will log this one. What's the value? It's a 10, right? And the y is a 10. Let's find out, okay? Y is 10, we have to draw it. Okay, I draw it very big. Okay, anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. Oh, let me draw it a little bit smaller because my yeah, I can do let me do here. Okay, let me draw here, put it here. Wait. Let me do one more time because I don't even want my face block this part. Okay, so here we will continue, which is global execution context. Okay, global execution context, still from creation phase. And you have a lexical environment. Then ask yourself all the questions. Do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared with let const? Yes, I do have. So put that in the TDZ. Okay. The X, right? Don't do anything for the function. Okay. This anything inside a function body, don't do it. Okay. And now, do I have any function declaration? Yes, I have, which is B. So add a B function reserved here because all the function declaration gonna be hoisted, which means they are added in the lexical environment in the creation phase. And now we do have another one, which is outer. Outer for the global is none. Then we go to execution phase. In the global environment, the execution phase starts from the first line in your source code. And the first line in your source code is a function declaration. Since it's a function declaration, we skip the whole. We skip the entire of this one. So we just do this line. This line is constant x equal 20. What's gonna happen? It's gonna remove the thing from the TDZ and add x equal 20 here. Okay, and then we will execute the function B. So first it will check, do I have a function B? Yes, I do have a function B. Okay, and it's a function. So for every function code, it's gonna have a B function execution context. For every function it's called, it's gonna have this execution context. Still from creation phase. In the creation phase, lexical environment. Then we take a look at, also ask your questions. Do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared with const or let inside the function B's body? Yes, I have one, which is this one, x. So here in this one's TDZ, we're gonna have x. Okay. Now we continue. Continue is, do I have any function declaration? Yes, I do have here, which is function A. So A is being here, because A is inside B. Okay, now because it's a function execution context, then we have to handle for the parameters. For all the parameters, the m and n here, we will treat them as local variables. So m, what's the value m? And we pass 7, right? So the first one is for 7 is passed here, and n 8. And for this 9, we don't have any parameters here, so 9 is ignored. But we do have what? We do have arguments. So arguments is what? Arguments is an array-like object which you can have, which you can use a for loop, like a let I equals 0, I less than arguments.length and I plus plus to loop them, and use square bracket to access each of the property value. And here, what kind of the values inside arguments? You have to take a look at how B is being called. B is called with 3 arguments, so we're gonna have 0 is 7, 1 is 8, 2 is 9, and you also have a length property which the value is 3 because 7, 8, 9 total is 3. And we do have another one which is outer. So what's the outer here? Outer, where is B located in the source code? B is located in the global, so outer is global here. Okay, so this is our creation phase done. Now we go to execution phase. In the execution part, start from first line in the function B. In the first line in function B is a function call. We skip. Now we will add x. Second line const x equal 10. We add x equals 10 in a lexical environment. Okay, here's too long, so I just added it here. Okay, now we'll execute the function A. So do I have a function A inside the B lexical environment? In the lexical environment DB, I have one, which is a function. So since it's defined, we will create another what's name? A function execution context start from the creation phase. Populate lexical environment. Okay. Still ask yourself the question, do I have any variable declared with var inside the function A's body? No. Do I have any variable declared with let or const inside the function A's body? No. Do I have any function declaration inside the function A? No. And then we need to, because it's a functional execution context, we have to handle for the parameters. So this I gonna have the value is 5, right? So I have value is 5. What's the value for the j? Since when we call A, we didn't give value for j, so default is undefined. And we do have another one which is called arguments. So what's the value of arguments? Take a look at how A is being called. The A is called with only one argument. So you're gonna have a 0 is 5 and have a length is 1. Okay, now we do have an outer. Outer, take a look at the source code. Where is A? The A is inside the B function. Let's see the function, right? So here outer is B. Okay, now we finish creation phase, we go to execution phase. Execution phase, okay? Execution phase, we will still start from the first line in function A. The first line in function A just a console log x. We have to find out x. So first we'll check in the A function execution context, do I have x? So in the lexical environment, do I have x? I don't have. If I don't have, I will follow what? I will follow my outer, which is scope chain. So the outer is a B. So this outer is a point to the B. Okay, in the B, do I have x? Yes, I have this one. X is what's the value? 10. That's why here the value is 10 being printed because you find in a B. Okay, and if we cannot find, I will follow my outer, which will go to global, and global will eventually go to the none, which is a reference error. But in our case here, we find the x is 10. Okay, so let me keep so here the scope chain is what? From A is the out is B, B's out is global, global out is none. That is the scope chain. Okay. Let me make a copy in case I need. Okay. I already this one is already this one. Okay. In case I need. Now let's go. Let's continue. So after this one being printed 10, I don't have anything else in my function A, right? So it means that it is, the function is done. When it's done, we have to pop the execution context from the calling stack. Okay, and then we go back to the function B. In the function B, after the function is being called, I don't have anything after it. So my function B is done. So I will pop out, which is exit pop out from the calling stack. Okay, and now we go back to the global. After B, this function is being called, I don't have anything else, so it's gonna be pop out. And after the global execution context is popped out, our application is done. Okay, and completed or exited. So that is how 10 is being found out. Okay, hope you are doing fine so far, but I will continue to the last demo, which is this one. Let's take a look at it. Okay, okay, now take a look at this demo. So here I still console log x. What's the value of x? Is it 10 or is it 20? Okay, the answer is 20. And why? Let's find out why. Okay. So we still start from global execution context, the creation phase. And the lexical environment. Here I will, or let's say, in the global scope, okay, Do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared with let or const? Yes. If I have, put it in TDZ, which is x. Okay. Do I have any function declaration? Yes, I have. What are they? They are a function, right? Take a look at it. This a is inside the global, and we have b function. Okay, and that's all. And we do have an outer. Out is what's the value? None. Okay, and now we go to what? We go to execution phase. In the execution phase, because it's in the global, start from the first line of the source code. The first line is function declaration of a skip. Second one is function declaration of b skip. Now go to const x equal 20. What's gonna happen? Remove x from TDZ, add x20 in the global lexical environment. And then next one is make function call to b. So we'll check in my lexical environment, do I have b? And is it a function? Yes. Then we can make a function call. Okay. Then we will have a b functional execution context still from creation phase. Okay, lexical environment. So now we focus on function b's body. Okay, we don't look at others. We only took a look at the code between these braces. Function b body. Do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared with let and const? Yes. If yes, put them in TDZ, which is x here. And now, do I have any function declaration in the function b? No. And because it's a functional execution context, we have to take care of the parameters and arguments. But here in this case, don't have any parameters. If you have, follow the previous one, okay, which is this way, okay, this one do, okay. And here we don't have, and we don't have any arguments when we call function b. So here we only have one, which is arguments, and we'll have a length is 0. Okay, and then we will have outer. So what's the outer of b? B is inside where? Based on the source code, b is inside the global. So here we will have global. Okay, now we go to execution phase. In the execution phase, we start from the first line in the function b's body. The first line in the function b body is x equal 10. So we'll remove the x and put the x equal 10 inside the b's lexical environment. Okay, and after that, we will make a call to a. So let's check in b's function execution context. Do I have a? No, I don't have. I only have arguments x10. I don't have. What's gonna happen? It will follow your outer to find your scope chain. Okay, the outer is global. Global lexical environment. Do I have a? Yes, I have. So, and is it a function? Yes, it's a function. So let's make a call. Okay, and you will go to a functional execution context. Go to creation phase. Creation phase, we'll have lexical environment. Okay, now let's go to the function A's body. Function A's body, inside this body, ask yourself your question. Do I have any variable declared with var? No. Do I have any variable declared with let or constant? No. Do I have any function declaration? No. And now, because it's a functional execution context, we have to take care of arguments. And when we call A, there's no arguments passed, and we don't have any parameters. So we will only have an implicit object called arguments, okay, and have a length 0. And we do have what? We do have outer. So what's the outer of A? Take a look at the source code. A is where? A is in the global. So here, A is global. Okay, A is not, the outer of A is not B. Okay, B is, you call it in B. And if you think it's B, then it's gonna be dynamic scoping. But JavaScript is a lexical scoping. So the B, so the A's outer is based on the source code. A is inside global. That's why here is global. Now we go to execution phase. Execution phase start from the first line of function A, because this is A's execution context. In the function, the first line is console log x. So now we will check in my lexical environment, do I have x? I don't have. So I'm gonna do what? I will follow my I will follow my outer. the outer is go to the global. So I will directly go to global. In the lexical environment, do I have X? Yes, I have. The value is what? 20. That's why here you see 20 is not 10. Okay, it's because of lexical scoping. Okay, based on the source code. Function A is defined inside the global, not based on where your function is called. Okay, I cover all the scenarios about the lexical scoping and scope chain. And when you meet other scenarios, just those 3 scenarios have a little bit of change. Okay, and you can using the same rules I'm doing here to solve all the problems. Okay. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.